Farah's destination. Long ago, on the seashore in the far west, there nestled a prosperous little city. In it lived a lovely little damsel called Farah, the only daughter of a well-to-do spinner of ropes. Many a hired hand worked for him. One day, the old man said to his offspring, who was the apple of his eye, "Farah dear, soon I will set sail on trade to several charming realms. Will you accompany me? Knows, but in the course of our journey you might not find a suitable young man whom you could take as your husband." The girl readily agreed, if not for anything else, at least for the thrill of the voyage. So, they easily sailed off on a calm sea. From land to land they went, the father busy with his commerce and his daughter dreaming of the handsome prince who might soon hold her hand. But, alas, in the middle of the sea, they were caught in a terrible storm. It whirled and swirled their ship and threw it upside down with a great fury. Most of the crew and the rich old merchant perished there and then. But the fortunate young lady was cast by the mighty waves onto the shores of an unknown island. Farah, now alone and destitute in a strange land, could remember nothing when she finally regained her consciousness. She was utterly exhausted and her limbs had no strength left in them. As she lay helpless on the soft land, blankly looking at the vacant sky above, the scene of the shipwreck and then she being carried on the crest of the waves dimly floated before her eyes. She began walking with her faltering steps, although without any destination. It so happened that a family of weavers was passing by. They took her with them and nursed her back to health with loving care. Though they were poor and humble, they adopted her into their clan and taught her their trade to make cloth. By and by Farah reconciled to her new and second life and was happy. Some years passed in peace and tranquility. One day, as Farah was strolling down the beach enjoying the cool and refreshing breeze, suddenly a band of slave traders saw her. They forcibly carried her away in their ship to another country and sold her off along with other captives. Farah's happy and beautiful world collapsed once again. But her new master, who made masts for ships, was kind and gentle. He taught her the trade in his woodyard. His new apprentice was clever and learned everything very fast, to the surprise of her employer. So much satisfied was he with her sincere efforts and work that he not only set her free but treated her as his own daughter. Farah was happy once again. "Now that you are so adept in the trade, I would like you to take up greater responsibilities," said her good master one day. "I'm ready for it," answered the young lady confidently. "Very well. Farah, tomorrow my ship loaded with a cargo of masts will set sail to distant lands. I want you not only to captain it but to promote our goods," proposed the old mast builder. Farah, a lover of adventure that she was, agreed and with the blessings of her good master set forth in her challenging task. Mid-journey, her ship was caught up in a typhoon and was wrecked, and the unfortunate girl found herself again cast up all alone on the shore of a strange land. She wept bitter tears and questioned her fate. She strongly felt nothing in her life seemed to be working according to her expectations. Whenever all was well with her, something intervened and destroyed in a trice all her hopes and dreams. "Why is it," she cried out for a third time, "that in the midst of my happiness, when I've adjusted well to my life and surroundings, that I'm cast down with a grief? Why should such evil events come my way?" She looked at the vast expanse of blue waters and the long stretch of sandy shore, but both remained silent to her queries. Picking herself up, she trotted inland, consoling herself that there was still hope and one day life might provide her with the answer to her questions. Now it so happened that Farah had stumbled into one of the island kingdoms, whose ruler wanted a tent. A tattered one had once come floating and some sailors told him how it was like a movable home. He had been fascinated. But no one in the realm knew how to make a tent. As was the custom, heralds were being sent regularly to every nook and corner of the kingdom to bring any foreigner who might have landed on its shores to the presence of the king. Maybe someone who knew tent making would be found someday. "Good lady, can you by any chance make and pitch a tent for us?" asked the ruler in a hopeful strain when Farah was brought to his presence. Farah replied with a graceful bow, "Your Majesty, I think I can do so. Only I would need the necessary materials and some helping hands. I shall provide you with all that you want and put 1,000 workers at your disposal." "Just give me a tent," exclaimed the king with great expectations. "First, I want bundles of strong ropes," she said. Alas, there was none to be found in the kingdom. In fact, no one knew what a string of rope was like in that remote region of the world. Brilliant and talented that Farah was, she remembered her days with her father as she had often watched him at the work as a spinner. She got sufficient flax collected and spun the necessary quantity of rope. "Now I need some strong cloth," she said. But the people of the realm had none of the kind she wanted for the tent. Now, drawing upon her experience with the weavers, she made the required cloth. "Now wherefrom will I get some sturdy tent poles?" she pondered. Alas, none was found to her liking and requirement. She remembered with gratitude how she had been trained by the old wood-fashioner to make ship masts. So with the help of the king's men, she sawed some logs to size and made the staffs. Finally, she recollected the different tents she had come across during her travels. With her skill and cleverness, she adapted the best feature of each type and created a splendid tent house. "Wonderful, wonderful," exclaimed the king in great admiration. "You're indeed fit to be my daughter-in-law, the prize I had thought for the girl who would fulfill my wish." So Farah married the prince amidst fanfare and jubilation. It was before long that she became the queen of the island and was loved by one and all. Often, when she would recount her adventures to her jolly little children, sitting in the garden, she would round up by saying, "My dear little ones, never take lightly the events and happenings that come your way." "Why, mother," they would ask in a chorus. "My angels, all that happens in your life, all experiences, can indeed have a purpose and might one day come to your aid. As in my life, what was once unpleasant, ultimately played a role in making me what I am." Thanks for listening. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. See you with another story.